Hello, friends, and welcome back to Facetime. This is Coach Nick here once again for another great episode for you to be able to enjoy and follow along from our Facebook page. We really want to thank all of those that have gotten a chance to see some of our episodes this week and have also been able to comment and interact with us. We want to be able to see more interaction and more of you enjoying these episodes on a daily basis, just like we're doing here Monday through Friday, from 1 o'clock to about 2 o'clock, depending upon how much we have to talk about, to enjoy. I personally have had a great time this week being able to share some of my knowledge with you about things that have ranged from baseball to football, basketball, hockey. And then finally on today's program, I'm going to talk with you a little bit about some video games that I think are great to play. I'm going to talk about some board games, some card games, and also some of things that I really enjoy watching on TV, that is game shows, and playing some different kinds of activities too. If you see in the background here, it says, I love games. I've always loved games ever since I was little. I remember when I was little, there were games that I used to play that involved Hungry Hungry Hippos, Candyland, Chutes and Ladders, Connect 4, Sorry. There are so many different games that you could play that were board game styles that I enjoyed because I could play with friends, family, classmates when I was in school. They're a lot of fun that you can enjoy. I'm big on competing, so it's fun to compete in a fun sort of way. Before we begin all our different topics and get into a little bit of history about board games and all, I think it would be appropriate for me to show you a link right now that involves actually playing some online games. So I found a website here. It's called cbc.ca, kids games that you can play. There's all different sorts of topics and themes. I'm going to show you what the site looks like. So they have all different sorts of choices that you can make. Just by scrolling through here, I see a game called Pro Baseball. I think I want to try that one out, so I'm going to click on it right here. And we're going to give this a little try right here and see how we do with playing. You're welcome to also get this link from our page right here on our Facebook page and also play along with me. So it looks like we have a picture here. You're going to use your mouse to hit the ball. Oops, another one strike for me. All right, we hit it. Let's see where it goes. Is it gone? No, it's right about at the wall. Looks like we got 43 points right here. And another hit. Let's see where it goes. That goes out to right field. How many points do we get here? That is 17 points. The key to this game is definitely to wait as long as you can and then click the mouse to see how you can hit the ball. Okay, we have 5 more pitches, it looks like. See, it's tough. You got to time it. All right, there's another good hit. See if I can hit it out of here. I'd like to leave this game at least one more now. Another hit. Out to right field again. And 15 points there. And another hit. I'm going almost up to out to the wall. And that'll be the last one. I missed the last one, of course. All right, I have 178 points. Let's see what you can do on your own time and see if you can beat me. So from this website, you can do all different sorts of things. You can play air hockey, you can play soccer, you can play, looks like there's some sort of scavenger hunt, puzzle building. Looks like you can rock it out here with music. It's an appropriate site for kids to be able to play, so I highly encourage you to go and check that out. My question for you is, if you have a favorite board game that you really like to play with your friends or family, comment below. I want to see what the most popular board game is out there that all of you enjoy playing. While you're doing that, I am going to talk a little bit about when board games first came about. When did that all start? So you have to go back to 3500 BC, way back in the day, when the first formation of all these different kinds of board games came about. The 2 games that are still currently played right now that were going on back then were checkers and backgammon. Okay, those were 2 games way back in the day ancient times that first started that path of being able to play with one another or play together in a different sort of game, different sort of board game style. So really kind of neat to think about how far back in history board games and everything went. How many of you have gotten a chance to play one of my personal favorites called Monopoly? What I really like about Monopoly is it involves a lot of things that incorporate strategy, budget, knowing what to do with money. That's all things with budget right there. It has some risks, obviously, to take in that game too. What I also like about Monopoly is it has a lot of different themes or a lot of different versions of the game that you can play. I happen to have a lot of different ones that are involving around sports. So I have a Red Sox one where it has different figures that you can purchase on your team, or buildings or structures, or all those different sorts of things. I always enjoy it because it usually lasts a long time. So if you like to play games for a long period of time, that would be one that I would highly recommend for you to play. And I also like it how it involves a lot of different people. So it's a great game. We've played that for my family when we're on vacation, or just to relax and everything. And everybody typically has a really good time from it. So Monopoly would be one of the games that I would highly recommend giving a chance to play. But there are other games that you can also play too. I happen, and for my age, I don't know if anybody my age out there plays a game called Settlers of Catan. That is a fun game for people that for my age and all. For more family-oriented games, again, that Monopoly is a great suggestion that I have there. But I also have a link of some other different style games that you can play for family fun night. So let's take a look at some of those right now. And I'm going to stay here on my microphone on my screen so I can get a chance to explain some of these. So they call this the 20 family games for family game night. And I'm sure a lot of you have had a family game night during this whole pandemic that we're in. So let's get a chance to look at some of these different games. This is called the mouth game. So I guess you put some sort of thing in your mouth and you do different kind of images and stuff. I have not played that game. That one doesn't sound as great to me, but if it is to you, that's wonderful. If you have played some of these games too, comment below so we can get a chance to know what you played. Shout It right here. It looks like that's another game that you could play. Pass It On. They say it's super simple yet pretty genius game where not so perfect drawing comes in handy. It's like a broken telephone game, only this time it is a drawing. Draw what you can see, then guess what you saw for ridiculous and unpredictable outcomes. It's miscommunication at its best. So what we'll do is we will send you this link for those that want to give some of these family fun games a try, and I hope that you get a chance to have some fun with them. I think it would be a great thing to do, especially during this time where there's so much unknown. It's great to be able to do things as a family as much as you can, and I highly recommend doing something like this together. One of the things that I know many of you enjoy, especially kids, are video games. I liked them when I was younger. I don't want to date myself, but one of my first video games that I had, or consoles, was called the Sega Genesis. And it had Sonic the Hedgehog in there. I used to have a grand old time playing all those different sorts of games. Video games have definitely advanced over time. Right now, I want to show you a link that has some of the best games or video games that you can play for kids. One of the ones that's top rated is Super Mario Maker 2. I know many of you play Minecraft. We also have Minecraft classes here at Sports Zone. If you have not gotten a chance to take them yet, they are a lot of fun, where we give you your own tablets or little mini PCs, and you can get to build and create all different sorts of things in our classes. A lot of fun. Nintendo Lab Toy Con Variety Kit is another game. The Legend of Zelda. Portal 2. Sid Meier's Civilization. I have not heard of that one. If any of you have played any of these games, comment below so we know. Super Smash Brothers. That's always been a popular game. I used to play that back in the day. Fortnite. I know so many of you that get the chance to play Fortnite. I know the most important thing when playing Fortnite is to make sure it is appropriate. I know some parents are against the Fortnite. There are some versions that you can play where it's more kid-friendly. StarCraft, Wings of Liberty, Overwatch, all those different ones are right here. I want to show you what number 1 here on the list was, Super Mario Maker. This is for ages 6+. Let's take a look at this video.
Hobby Family Gaming, and today we are playing Super Mario Maker 2.
Well, it came up and it said 2.
Alright, so this is number 2, and it's really cool. The second one is better than the first one is because you have a lot of more stuff, and you can make the lava high. Like, you can see,
like
watch,
you can make the lava level rise.
Yeah, see lava level? You can make it go, here, if I can grab it, here. You can make it go up, or you can make it go up really fast or not too slow. So that's really cool. Has a lot of cool stuff. Let's check out some levels I made.
Oh yeah, I do have some too.
One I called was Kitty Cat, and it's just a nice little kitty cat.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna put this on.
A kitty cat. And to get by invisible headphones.
It's just a nice kitty cat, that's all. Okay, let's see what Kitty Cat is about.
Ah!
Oh my. Oh, I forgot how evil I was while making this. So the evil thing you saw at the beginning was Meowser right there.
Meowser. It's a funny name. A cool name.
Ah!
Yeah.
Okay, by the way guys, if you haven't played the level, there's a secret spot right here. It looks like the other end of the tube, but look. You get to skip all the piranha plants over here. So there's a giant valley of piranha plants. Look at this. I made a bunch of them.
That looks menacing.
There we go.
But what do you have to do?
There we go.
That's interesting. Wow.
Oh.
Clear tubes.
So that's one
Check out
game
these clear tubes.
that looks
They're
like
so
it's a lot of
cool.
fun to be able to play. I don't know if any of you have tried it. So the Mario Maker 2 is one example of one of the games that you can definitely play online. I want to take a look at another game which involves the Avengers, and it is in a Fortnite setting. So let's take a look at that. This comes from Kid City Gaming.
What's up, everybody? It's Dad City,
No Flash?
and we are in the middle of Fortnite Avengers. This is part 2 of our we're actually the Avengers this time.
Yeah.
If you want to see me be Thanos, you should check out the first Fortnite in-game episode. If you get eliminated, walk it off. You will get another try if Thanos doesn't have all of the stones. Well, I'm gonna stay up as high as I can for a while, so I can see where it's gonna drop.
We need weapons. I'm looking for our weapons.
If you got any tips for us, remember to comment below and tell us. You need to be right here when the stone drops, because we don't know.
I got Captain America's shield.
Oh, you got it? I feel like I need to gear up instead of be doing this. All right.
So how do I use this?
Isn't that
you
pretty
throw
cool
it,
that you
just
can
like
actually be Captain America in this
Throw
Fortnite game?
like a gun.
What I like about this game as well too is you have a child and a father
what it is.
playing together.
I
So
know
if your
what it
parents
is.
play with
Huh?
you on Fortnite, let us shoot us a comment, because I think that that's awesome to be able to play together. The more you can play together with your family and your siblings, the better time you can have.
So,
You know, I know I'd rather
we
play
are
with somebody
used
else
to
when I was
winning.
playing with everything too.
And when we
What I think it's really neat to see is there are so many different video games that you can play, whether online or on some sort of a game console, your phone, tablet, whatever it could be. I was able to show you a couple different versions. I was able to show you the Mario Maker, and I was able to show you the Fortnite game. Those are all kid-friendly options that I feel are safe enough where you can play and have a really good time building, creating, and doing your own kind of missions in those games. I want to transition now into something that I've always been passionate about and something that I've always enjoyed watching and even playing a little bit of, and that is game shows. I have a video right here that shows the top 5 game shows of all time. Do any of you have a particular favorite? I'm going to hold my favorite until the end of this video is done. We're going to share this link with you too, because there's been a lot of game shows over the years. There are some that involve more strategy. There are some that involve more luck. There are some that involve some smarts. And some games are not all for others. I know for one, Jeopardy would be something that it would be very difficult for me to play. A game like maybe a Wheel of Fortune, where it involves more luck on a spin of a wheel, I might be able to do a little bit better on something like that. If you notice any of these game shows or have seen them from before, shoot us a message too, and let us know which ones you like. Let's take a look.
Number 5, Family Feud. The feud keeps coming back to pit families against each other. The show surveys 100 people on a variety of questions and asks competing families to guess their most popular responses. The flirtatious Richard Dawson served as the show's original host from 1976 to 1985, and a string of personalities have filled his shoes since. Survey says this is one of the classic game shows.
Something a burglar would not want to see when he breaks into a house. Rob.
Naked grandma!
Naked, huh?
Number 4, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel is the longest-running syndicated game show, and for good reason. The show debuted in 1975 and has most famously been hosted by Pat Sajak since the early 80s, with help from the lovely Vanna White. Wheel combines luck with the skill of deduction and requires competitors to guess a sentence one letter at a time. Be careful not to get too greedy, or you may just go bankrupt.
That's about as painful as a bankrupt gets. Brett, I am sorry.
Number 3, Match Game. This is another show where the hilarity of the comedians is the star of the show. Gene Rayburn is the show's most iconic host, and it's been brought back a few times since his era. Competitors fill in the blanks of a statement read by the host.
At the hospital, Steve passed out when the nurse showed him his blank.
And try to match their answers to what the celebrity panel might say. Raunchy humor, sexual innuendo, and double entendres abound.
That's the answer.
Number 2, The Price is Right. This is the longest continuously running game show in the history of U.S. television. A revamp in 1972 brought Bob Barker in as host.
Welcome to the new Price is Right.
Get past contestants' row, and you'll need shopping skills plus a bit of luck to get through the variety of games and onto the showcase. Barker retired in 2007 and was replaced by Drew Carey, but enthusiastic and eccentric contestants are still lining up to come on down.
Next prize, please.
It's an automatic pancake machine.
Automatic pancake machine? Where were you when I was fat?
Number 1, Jeopardy! At the top spot on our list is the ultimate quiz show. Jeopardy hit the airwaves in its current form in 1984, hosted by the smug Alex Trebek. Contestants use book smarts and pop culture knowledge to master this trivia juggernaut, and in return, they win cash. This is the one show on TV that consistently makes viewers feel dumb, especially if they forget to answer in the form of a question.
So looking at some of those clips right there, there are a lot of different games that were shown. My personal favorite has been Match Game. That's something that I've always enjoyed because it involves a lot of humor and involves a lot of creativity on some of the answers that you can come up with. That's not to take away from any other games that you might have seen and played. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is another game that I strongly and highly recommend playing. It's a lot of fun. I want to take a look right now at a website that actually has some of these game shows that you can get a chance to play. This website is called JoyTube. And on this site, you can play different games that involve whether it's Millionaire or The Price is Right. There's a Deal or No Deal game. There's a game that is called, where is it? It is right here, Guess 5. So the word is V. I don't know if anybody out there wants to take a guess on what it could be. I will do valet. Like valet parking. So right now we have, it looks like a T and an E out of place. How about vault? No. How about vetoes? No. Something V-E-T. Anybody out there want to give it a try? Vet. Vital? No. I think Vital is Vitil. Vetch. We got it. Vetch. Vetch was the word. All right, now you press your mouse and you stop it. We'll stop the board. We got a ball right there. And you keep on playing. There's all different kinds of words that you can play. It looks like there are 5 letters that are there to play. Again, this website is called JoyTube. Something that you can enjoy playing if you really like to. It has all different kinds of themes, which I like about it too. Let's take a look next at another page that has something called the Random Trivia Generator. RandomTriviaGenerator.com is the website here where you can play along and do different kind of categories and games. Almost like a Jeopardy in a way. Let's take a look. We can do category of art, history, science, geography, entertainment. We'll do the entertainment one. In Disney's Aladdin, what is the name of Jasmine's pet tiger? Any of you know what that would be? Or what was Ward Cleaver's occupation on the TV show Leave It to Beaver? An accountant. And Jasmine's pet tiger was Rajar. Whose daughter have the Eagles been searching for? The number 1 hit once in one of these nights. The Devil. So you can learn a lot of different activities from this site right here too. Again, it's called the Random Trivia Generator. Before we wrap up our program here today, I want to show you a fun game that I play with my family a lot. It's a card game, and it's called Phase 10. This is a video of how to play it. Let's take a look at that, and then I will explain a little bit more about it when the video is done.
The game of Phase 10 is rather straightforward. You play with numbered cards, as well as some special ones that I'll explain later. To begin, deal all players 10 cards each, then take a look at the first phase. Here it says that the players are trying to get 2 sets of 3. And what does that mean? Well, in this game, you're trying to make either sets or runs. Sets are a group of cards that have the same number on them, whereas runs are a group of cards with numbers in the proper sequence. The colors of the cards are of no significance. Until Phase 8. So in this phase, players want to get 2 groups of cards that are 3 of a kind. With this in mind, players should take this time to sort their cards so they can see what they need to collect. If you're lucky, you'll only need a couple of cards, and if you're really lucky, you will already have what you need in your hand. For instance, this player already has a good start to his hand. He's got a couple wild cards, 2 12s, and a pair of 3s. He definitely has some options. A turn starts by drawing a card from the deck or the discard pile and putting it into your hand. Next, you may lay down cards if you've finished your phase. Finally, you end your turn by discarding a card from your hand. It's important to mention that you must lay the entirety of the phase down at the same time. If you only have part of it completed, it must remain in your hand. After you have laid down your completed phase, your next objective is to go out. In other words, get rid of the rest of your cards. This is done by adding cards from your hand to any completed phases on the table. In this example, the second player gets the match he needs, lays down his phase, places 11s on the first player's set of 11s, his 12 on the set of 12s, and discards his last card. He wins the round. Both players finish the first phase though, so both of them go on to the second phase. If for some reason a player doesn't finish their phase before someone else goes out, that player doesn't move on with those who did finish. The goal of the game is to be the first to finish all 10 phases. If there's a tie, the player with the lowest score wins. Scoring depends on the cards left in your hand. Cards with a single digit are worth 5 points, double-digit cards are worth 10 points, skip cards are worth 15 points, and wild cards are worth 25.
Right there with those points, that's important to make sure that you know how many points are still in your hand.
When they are played, the player says who loses a turn, and play continues. Skips cannot be used to complete phases and cannot be drawn from the discard pile. Wild cards can be used in the place of any number, or color in the case of Phase 8. They must be used with at least one number card, and once laid down, they cannot be moved or change which number they represent until the next round. So that's how you play Phase 10, and I hope you enjoy playing it as much as I do. And until next time, this is Hogwash, over and out. I'll catch you later.
So that game I've played for many, many years. It's a game that my Nana happened to teach me when we went on a vacation as a family, and it just became something that not just I play, everybody in my family plays, and we enjoy it quite a bit. They have another version that you can play. It's called Phase 10 Masters, and that's for people that are a little bit more advanced, that you can play a little bit more sophisticated style. The most important thing in this game is to make sure that you know that if you have a certain run or a set in your hand, say if you're on Phase 1, you have to complete that phase to get to Phase 2. So say you were playing with 4 people and all 3 people laid down their Phase 1, but you couldn't lay it down. Well, you have to stay on that phase until you complete it. So it can get pretty competitive. If I could record some of my family's matches that we've had over the years, it would probably be on America's Funniest Home Videos, 100%. I personally hope that you have really enjoyed these episodes this week on Sports and Games. I hope I was able to educate you a little bit about all the different activities that you can play, ranging from our sports that we've talked about this week to all these board games, card games, game shows, and video games that we've talked about on today's program. I want to let you know that I will be back next week with more topics and more great ideas and things to do. And that topic next week is going to be TV and movies. So we're going to shift away from our sports topics. It's going to be all TV and movies. Again, we'll have these on our Facebook page live all next week. And I hope you interact with us. I hope that you get a chance to enjoy them, like I said. But most importantly, I hope that all of you stay healthy, stay well, and have a wonderful weekend. I will see you next time for our next episode of FaceTime. I'm Nick Face. Goodbye.